if you're stuck, you don't know where to go in life or what to do, what your next step is, you're fed up of living a life of boredom, frustration, right? I've got a strange piece of advice for you. Very strange piece of advice. Very simple piece of advice. But a piece of advice that is kind of unconventional, so to speak. An unconventional piece of wisdom that I have found to be useful in my own personal life. Right, I recommend everyone buy themselves a tent. If you haven't got a tent, buy yourself a tent. That's all I want you to do. I want you to go and buy yourself a tent. Right? Look at this tent I've got behind me here. Why do I reckon you should buy yourself a tent? Well, a few different reasons. First of all, if you have a tent to put things in, right, you can then organise your life and live out of that tent. So, for example, my tent here, right, is in my bedroom. It's on my bed. At the moment, I'm sleeping in another room, which has now become my sleeping bedroom. But this is kind of the Let You Be You Life Camp area, right? My room. We have all of the Let You Be You Life Camp signs on the wall in different areas that I focus on here at the Let You Be You Life Camp. Here's my PA system where I practice my music. These are my musical instruments. This is my table where I record my podcasts. Right? I have a tent, and it goes very nicely with the theme of the Let You Be You Life Camp. Partly because I enjoy camping, but I haven't been camping in a while. And in fact, this tent isn't very suitable for camping because I don't believe it's waterproof. It's more of a cheaper, lightweight tent, but I do like the look of it. And it's perfect for storing things in. And another thing it's perfect for, if the weather permits you and it's a sunny day, a decent day, right, where it's not raining and damp. I recommend everyone take a tent and go out in their garden. If you have a garden, if you have a back garden, or backyard as you call it in America, I recommend everyone fucking get a tent. Because, it's like your own little place where you can go and sit, right? You're putting yourself in a state of mind that perhaps is more primal and more in alignment with the way our ancestors used to live, because we used to live in tents and teepees and various structures outside. You'll feel immediately at home, right? There's nothing quite like being in a tent, that kind of feeling as a human being, of that thin piece of exterior, which, serves as your little home for whatever period of time you happen to be camping or in that tent, right? And the same is true if it's in the garden, even if you're not technically camping there, even if you're not technically sleeping there, although I do recommend that we all sleep in our garden sometimes. You'll get a better night's sleep if the weather's good, right? And you have a decent tent, of course. But yeah, you can even get a cheap tent just to put things in. It sounds crazy. It sounds like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, the beauty of the tent, you can open it. Here it is. Right, I store my guitar in there. I store some of my clothes in there. At the moment, some of my quilt covers are in there, which I use, and I go in when I'm recording outside, when I'm recording the intros to these videos, where I say hello and welcome to Let You Be You Life Camp with me, Conor Canney, right, which I record at the moment in my garden, in front of the bush, right? That one, those intros. And I always wear my blue hat, which I've got here. I can just take that, put it on the table, set the camera up so that the camera doesn't fall off and smash onto the hard plastic table or onto the ground, because it's protected by my duvet and covers, whatever. But what the point is you can store your stuff in the tent. It's not like, especially for those of us who are like ADHD like folk, and we like we like some kind of, or we need simultaneously need some kind of order, some kind of chaos simultaneously. So I've got like all kinds of untidy handwriting, strewn across all these fucking loads of pads and pieces of paper from my ideas and planning and writing down my schedule for the day, or writing down song lyrics, or writing my book, or whatever the fuck it is, an amalgamation of all these fucking things, right? And I'm like, I need some form of just having them strewn around, but I also need some form of order. What's the perfect way? Look, you just put them in there. Psychologically, they're in a place, but it's also open, and they're not in neat, tidy piles, and you don't have to go through drawers and shit looking for them. They're in sight, but they're also in a very... You can just put them there at the end of the day. Now, this might sound fucking... You might be looking at me going, what the fuck are you talking about, Conor? This is just some weird shit. You're just basically just telling us what the fuck you do. I don't look at it like that, honestly. Trust me, buy yourself a tent, man. You can put all your projects and your stuff that you want to do in the tent. It's your little area. That's where you keep your stuff. Simple. And you can have it in the house, and you can put it, if you've got a big enough bedroom, just put it on the floor. I choose to put it on my bed, or you can put it on the bed during the day. You can put the tent down after if you want, and then, maybe it wouldn't be used as a storage facility then, but that's not the point. I just think there's something beautiful about owning a tent, having it as your tent. You can use it for storage facility. You can use it to study in. You can use it to just chill and listen to music in. You can even do yoga in it. Some forms of sitting yoga, I guess, but mainly like kind of plank-like stuff, and the stuff where you have to like be low to the ground, be stretched out low to the ground. If a tent's big enough, that is. You can fucking relax in it. You can sleep in it. You can go for a nap in it when you close it up. There's something beautiful about it. That's not quite like any other experience. And as I said before, camping is a great way to get in touch with fulfilling some of our primal desires that we have lingering from when our ancestors used to just live outside with a bit of shelter from a teepee or their own kind of tent, or some kind of shelter or bivouac or whatever. That was kind of tempered from they kind of fashioned from like animal skins and leaves and plants and trees and all that, and mixed them together, whatever. Depending on the culture, whatever the fuck it was. But my point is that there's lots of wonderful things about having a tent, and I recommend everyone buy a fucking tent. And I hope I've sold you on that idea, and I hope you enjoyed this rant. Maybe some of you got some laughs out of it. How many times this guy say buy a tent? Is this guy trying to show me to buy a tent? What the fuck? Is he selling tents? Has he actually got tents? No, I don't have any tents, motherfucker. But that's just the nature of this thing. Anyway, guys and girls, jokes aside, get yourself a tent, and it will greatly start to improve your life. Peace and love. From me, Conor Canney at the Let You Be Life Camp. Take care.